Hey, look pretty. Oh, we're live, boys. Welcome, America, to the Eric and Rodney Show without Robin, lazy son of a bitch. But we do have Paul Guenther. Welcome
Paul.
to the show, Paul.
Welcome.
How you guys doing? Thanks for having me on.
Listen,
Thanks
this
for
is
coming.
this is going to be the best hour of your day, audience. Assuming your day is very mediocre. Joke never gets old. Oh, I wanted to try something today. Ready? Little production value. What do you think about that?
The problem
I like
is, it said with Robin, and he's not here.
Oh,
so.
that is. It should say with Paul, but I made that 3
Without
months ago,
Robin.
so I didn't have the time.
Dude,
Robin
I'm a
didn't
fan
put
of the
in his request.
metal openings. You gotta like that, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Heavy
high
opening,
energy.
get you going, get you
Right.
in.
It's very LinkedIn metal music, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We started this new bit because was it too loud? Was it too loud for the audience?
Too loud. It
Mm,
was a bit loud.
I think it
but
was
I
too
like it.
good. We started this new gimmick because every day is a day here in the United States. Actually, it's multiple days. I don't know if you know this. So, like today was National President's. I don't fucking know, Vice President's Day or some shit. But it doesn't matter. This is the one we're going to celebrate. It's National Book Lovers Day here in the United States. So the three of us, obviously, culture vultures, right? Big readers. Can you guys talk about? You get like, what are your favorite books? Rodney, you want to go first? Give me your 3 favorite books?
I don't know. There's so many. It's like when they asked Trump, right? What's your favorite Bible verse? He said all of them.
Right? You just celebrate all.
That's a good answer. I celebrate the entire catalog. No, I you know what it is? I don't really have like. I will say this. I had a book that had a pretty. I had a couple books that had a pretty positive impact. 4-Hour Work Week. Had a pretty good impact on me. I forget now. Is it 10 Habits or 8 Habits or 7 Habits of Highly Successful People? Ever how many habits it was? I read that one.
Yep.
7 Habits, I think it was. And then there's a book called I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. I read it or listened to it or something years ago, did what he said. And well, now I'm on the show. So obviously it works.
That was a very good LinkedIn answer.
Pretty good.
They're all very businessy. You don't have anything, like 50 Shades of Grey, or you don't.
No, that wasn't my thing. I liked. I mean, I recently drove to my mom so my dog could come with me, and I listened to some books, but they were more like they were from my wife's pickleball group suggestion list. So I feel like they were very tilted. One of them was called Verity, which I'm not. Yeah. That's it.
Help me understand this. So there are book clubs within the pickleball community.
Well, what happened was my wife said, "Listen, I know you're going for a long drive," and I was just out with the ladies playing pickleball and whatever, and they're reading these 3 books, and out of the 20 she told me, I remembered one.
Interesting. All right. Well, the subcultures, just like hobby horse championships.
I will say though that midway through the drive, either through just sheer exhaustion or maybe the book itself, I was like,
yeah. You got involved. I know.
I did. I was involved. I won't lie to you. I'll just kind of give you the premise. It basically was a lady who's pretending to be incapacitated, and while she's waited on, so she can observe what her husband's doing.
Books are wild. You're allowed to do
It's
anything.
weird. Yeah.
What about you, Paul? You're a book reader?
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. It's been a while. You know, I'm not a big book guy. I'll be honest with you. I can really name a few off the top of my head. There was Ramona Quimby, age 8, when I was in 3rd grade. I had to read that.
Nice.
That was very good. Looking back, and I don't remember it completely, but
well, 3rd grade was
very
a while
compelling.
ago.
There was a chapter where someone cracks an egg on her head during lunch. It was very you could feel her embarrassment,
Right.
but she grew from that. And then there was Indian in the Cupboard in 4th grade.
Have you ever seen that movie, Paul? It's amazing.
I've not as good as the book. I've only read 2 books, and I can tell you from the one movie I saw, from the one book I read, not as good as the book. I believe that's probably a true thing. No, I think I've read 4 books in my life. Like that includes summer reading. I was one of those kids. I just didn't do it. I would just, get the Cliff's Spark Notes back in the day and just, just kind of like get my way through it. I don't know why. I've never been a reader. My mom and my brother, huge readers, but I was always more of like a movie kind of guy,
Yeah. One of the multiple
Visual,
industries AI is going to kill is the book report, because now anything, right? Just give me a book report on
Oh
book
yeah,
report and bada bingo,
anything.
bada bingo. All right, so
Anything.
Game of Thrones and Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. You know what, Andy? If you would put a gun to my head and given me an hour, I think I could have come up with your 3. I don't want to brag. I mean, I know I'm the kid for 25 years.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Slaughterhouse 5 because Kurt Vonnegut's the greatest American author, and I won't be taking questions on this. Outliers because I love pop psychology, but nobody can write a fucking book.
Outliers is a very good book.
Because Malcolm Gladwell is the only one that puts personality between these. Like I get a million pop psychology books, a million business books. Nobody writes with any skill except for Malcolm Gladwell and Catcher in the Rye. I don't know why. That like 40s, 50s period, the way they talk, it just entertains me endlessly.
I do respect fiction, and even though I've only read a couple of them, as you know, I respect fiction because those guys and women, they're writing some badass stuff, some cool stuff, and it's stuff that I could never come up with. Compelling stories, and the movies are great too. Nonfiction, it can be good, but I think in the last 20 years, no one's ever written their own nonfiction book. Like, it's just complete bullshit. No one actually writes their own nonfiction book. And I've come to realize this as I've gone through this industry. Yeah. People reach out to me all the time about writing a book, a nonfiction book for me, like a ghostwriting it. And they're like, yeah, it's only 10 grand and we can write a book for you about whatever you want. I'm like, what the fuck am I going to write? Nobody wants to hear anything that I have to say. And then a nonfiction book, I mean, what am I going to tell people? I come up with the top 10 tips for this, or the 12 ways to become rich, or the 6 ways to be happy. Like, I'm not doing that kind of stuff, but a lot of it is just regurgitated like nonsense. And these celebrities who write books, they don't write the books.
You don't think
Snooki
wrote her own book? Get out of here.
Snooki is. I'm sorry, I spoke too soon. There's someone who probably wrote her own book. There's some
credibility. But you spoke too soon. I got to tell you, Paul. I got to tell you, man, you're funny. We've had some people on here that tell me they're funny. You're funny. I like it.
The deadpanness is good.
Thanks, dude.
You're really good.
I think book writing is done. This is a very LinkedIn conversation, because I think books now are content for the sake of content. Just like email, like websites, you need a ton of blogs. Nobody's reading them, but they're for the algorithm. I think people tell you got to write a book so you can say I wrote a book, so you appear to be like, no one's ever going to read it, but you go, I'm an author.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that's 100% what it is. And these ghostwriters take it.
You ever see those things though, right? I remember seeing this a while back on a LinkedIn post, right? And this was a while ago, and the guy was like, I spent 20,000 hours. I may be exaggerating this, but it was some ridiculous amount of time analyzing these videos and reading these things. And I remember thinking to myself, like, does he not have a job? Like, what's going on? What, how's that possible? How were you able to, you know what I mean? What's happening here?
They're not. He's lying.
No, he must be lying. Yeah. I figure he's probably telling us a story, a fable.
I think Snooki put 20,000 hours into writing her book, though. I don't know if you read it. It was a American masterpiece. I'm sorry. I said Vonnegut is the greatest American author. Snooki.
You guys had me compelled now to. I'm gonna read the Snooki book.
I have a couple autographed copies I ordered. So
you know what else?
No, right? Audible.
You got to do Pauly D too.
Who?
He has Pauly D has one, and so does Vinny. Guido.
Yes, I know from my wife, Pauly D was in jail. He's probably got a good story. He's probably got a compelling story to tell. He had a lot. Or no, wait, I think he's recovering, right? He's something. One of them was in jail.
No, the Stitch or the Situation. He has a book too.
That's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he was in jail for tax evasion.
So the entire cast of Jersey Shore went to jail and also
wrote books. Yeah, and they all wrote them. They all wrote those books.
This segment, what you said earlier, Paul, like you said that people weren't writing their own books. I'll tell you when I knew people weren't writing their own books. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the great show called The Real Housewives of New Jersey, but there's a character on there named Teresa, and she's written like 7 bestsellers. She can barely string a sentence together.
Barely, yeah. And I had the pleasure of watching every Real Housewives of everything because my wife watches every single one.
Mine too. I see them all.
And I don't actually watch them, but I'll come in. I'll be like, oh, who's this lady?
We know who is. Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know how she.
This sort of segues right into our next story, which is, and again, I hate when Robin's not here because I have to introduce these things and then react to them. But so when Alabama mom went viral with her concerns about her kid's future, not the same it was. Her general idea, her thesis is that the American dream is either dead or becoming increasingly difficult to attain. What do you guys think about the state of the American dream? Because this Alabama mom is pissed. So she doesn't even have a young kid. She has a 28-year-old and a 25-year-old, which I guess makes them a millennial and Gen Zer. But she's concerned.
And they live at home?
No, I think, you know what? I don't know where they live, but her concern is rising house prices, inflation, wages.
And where does she live?
Alabama.
I don't see a problem here. You can probably buy a house for $200K.
Well, that's the great irony here, right? Like the living situation in Alabama is a lot more palatable than New York or Philadelphia.
Right.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. There's a 1-bedroom, 1-bath shack. That's not a shack, but it's very small. It's 775 square feet, about a mile and a half from my house, going for $500,000.
Yeah, I mean, how the fuck?
Right.
I don't.
How's that possible? I don't know. It's the size of my apartment in the city when I first moved there.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know, man. Yeah. Everybody does this stuff, right? Where they talk about how things aren't what they used to be. And even everybody does this, every generation. I've gone out of my way not to do it just because I remember everyone doing it when I was growing up. It's when you're growing up, everybody would say, oh, man, they keep putting the Christmas decorations out earlier and earlier every year, every year. And now my friends are saying that. I'm like, dude, you didn't learn not to say that 20 years ago when people were saying that?
Yeah.
I mean, so I don't know, but she could be right. I mean, yeah, there are economic issues. There's no doubt about that. We've been through worse.
Well, we talked about sports a lot on our call previous to this, and it's difficult to compare eras. So it's like when you talk about the best basketball player, these days it comes down to LeBron or Jordan for the most part. The eras are wildly different. So it'd be weird for us to comment what life was like in the 50s. But I will say that our generations are the first ones to raise up with crippling education debt. And it has to be harder as a person now if you're $300,000 coming out of the gate at 22 than it was in 1950 where you had none of those concerns, And I think
that's definitely true.
It's a myopic example, but I do think we have Stockholm syndrome now. We worship capitalism, we worship the dollar, we worship the rich, and then we demonize things that are very reasonable, like social programs and regulation. So we have what we have. Everything's expensive, and you buy it.
I kind of feel like this, right? I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, but I always feel like if America needs something, it's like we've got to raise the taxes. But if another country needs anything, they're like, give it to them. Right? Like, I don't understand how any of this is, you know what I mean? Like, there's veterans and people that are like homeless. How is this possible? And we're sending money to help other people? What's going on?
Even if we don't like the homeless, which we don't because they're not rich in this country,
then let's make them with a home. Let's give them a home.
Well, what I'm saying, the infrastructure is collapsing and we're still sending money overseas. You would think, all right, let's just make sure our own house is cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Donating.
Yeah, because I mean, it started with COVID, obviously. All this fake money is printed, trillions, then another 3 trillion, then another 2 trillion. And it's fake money, right? Because it's not coming from anywhere. We're just going to release this money. We're trillions in debt, but we're just going to release these trillions just for this next couple months and then a few more trillion. And nothing's going to happen. It'll be fine. And of course it wasn't fine. That's, it's always the main contributor to inflation. But they can just always do that. They can just always release more money. And everybody always worries about the national debt since I was a kid. Well, the national debt keeps growing. The national debt doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They're never going to pay the national debt back. It is irrelevant, right?
It goes back to
you're right, Paul. You're right. That's right.
Yeah. Like in sports, my father's a huge Red Sox fan, and he agrees with the Red Sox that they shouldn't have signed Mookie Betts and that they shouldn't have signed Xander Bogaerts because they got these huge things. And I go, Dad, it's not our fucking money. It's not our money. It doesn't matter. It's fake money.
Exactly.
It's Red Sox money. There's no salary cap. Who gives a shit? So
exactly.
Yeah.
The money's fake. Fix the infrastructure. The money's fake. Give the homeless homes. Like, stop it.
But here's the other bigger question I have, right? And I've always wondered this, and I actually come from finance, so it's more of a rhetorical question. But who do we actually owe the money to? And here's my second part of it. Who's going to do something? Like I remember my stepfather saying to me before he passed away, he's like, "Well, we owe that money to China." What are they going to do about it?
They're going to go collect.
This goes against probably both ideologies a little bit because what I'm going to say is this: I don't give a fuck. Keep borrowing and print money if you need to, but keep building that damn military. Build that damn military up, man. And we don't ever have to worry about anything. We're gonna be fine. Right. 5% of GDP goes to military. Keep borrowing money. Keep printing money. We're gonna be great. Everyone's gonna be happy.
Because as long as they collect the debt, fuck them, right? I mean, just keep. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, man. Come on, we got everything. We got everything here.
I
Well,
will.
North Korea hears that we have spent $5 trillion on defense, and he's probably like,
Yeah, don't go knock on their door.
all right, maybe nothing crazy out today, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. Now he's gonna strip every tree in that land, off the mountains to just, put everything he can together to just build a couple more missiles. He's gonna launch about 100 miles into the sea and explode. We don't know what's in the missiles, by the way. We just know they're missiles. And they're being launched and they go somewhere near South Korea every time.
Maybe
So,
they're people. He's got people in there.
He's got people in there. people from the work camps. They can't feed anymore.
Maybe he'll put himself in there.
He might. That he'd need a lot of lift on that rocket.
He's a chubby little thing.
You know what was always so bizarre to me is that they were like, and I don't know if this is true or not, but they were like, he is the embodiment of what an ideal North Korean, like he's the Brad Pitt, if you will, of what men want to look like over there. And I'm thinking,
yeah, but
who has misled them?
Well, this is the thing. They're fucking starving and he's fat. So like the ideal
yeah, that's true,
you know what I mean? Like when you can see your abs and you have no food, you'd rather be the fat guy.
Right. It's like a medieval caste system. He's this fat guy. He's wealthy,
Yeah,
and with a haircut like that, come on, who's not gonna like the guy?
Exactly.
That haircut.
He's adorable.
I mean, love his haircut. If he didn't have that stupid haircut, I might respect him a little more. That stupid haircut kills him, man. Because he's got that big fat face and that haircut. It's just
Yeah, no, you're fine with human rights violations. He just needs a better haircut. I get it.
I think the human rights violations would stop if he had a different haircut.
I do too. He wouldn't be so pissed off about the way he looks. He'd be more confident. He wouldn't be mean towards other people. One of my employees has this theory. He hires nannies, right? He gets nannies, and he believes that he should only hire hot chicks as nannies because he believes they're better nannies because they're more confident. They do better at what they do, and at the end of the day, they're just happier, and they make his kids happier. This is his theory. This is not my theory.
It has nothing to do with his liking to sleep with hot nannies, right? Like that's
no. It probably does. It probably has everything to do with that.
I was going to say because I used to work with some guys that had the same theory. Oddly enough, they had the same theory. It's so bizarre.
A lot of guys have that theory. A lot of guys.
Crazy. I think there might be.
It's spreading.
Interesting. Very interesting. Just on the American dream, I do think it's conceptually bizarre. So my grandfather had 11 children, and him and his wife. So that's 13 mouths to feed in that house. He had a job at GE. His wife didn't work. I'm firmly middle class. I don't think I could feed 13 hamsters with my salary. So something has happened between, my mother was born in 1959. Somewhere between then and now, shit got really fucked up.
If I had to guess, I would say the cost of rice and beans is going up. But I'm not. I mean, who am I? I'm not a math magician. I'm a simple man.
Beans, the inflation on beans is incredible.
It's insanity. It's insanity. My mom was telling me, she's like, she told me about the gas shortage or something last week when we were driving by Sam's.
Yeah.
And 2 weeks ago, and she was like, I remember when I used to get gas for 25 cents a gallon. I said, that must have been like 100 years ago.
Right.
And people are lined up at Sam's because they're 10 cents cheaper.
Yeah.
Like I remember I started driving in, I guess it was like 2001, 2002. And it was 99 cents. Like it was 99 cents, but I don't tell people about that. I'm not like, man, when I started driving, gas was 99 cents a gallon. It's irrelevant. It's not 99 cents a gallon now because everything was a lot cheaper back in 2000, 2001, 2002,
Yeah, back then you could get you could roll up and get a Monster or a Red Bull listening to Santana with Rob Thomas and get 99-cent gas, right?
Yeah, exactly. I could buy absolutely, man. I could get a Snickers. I could get a Snickers for like 65 cents. What is it? It's probably like $2 now, something like that.
I know.
Eric said he had one the other day. He had to, which kid did you sell?
I didn't sell him. I rented him out for a couple of weeks. I don't know what they're going to do to him, but it was worth it, whatever it was. The other, yes, I think college has been just college houses. Life is cost prohibitive,
It is. Yep. It's expensive. Life is expensive. I would agree with that one.
But how the fuck? I mean, we had a lot. I know it had a lot to do with Catholicism, but we used to shit out a ton more kids. Can you imagine 11 children, affording 11 children? That 1 week's worth of groceries would break me.
Oh, it's
that's a lot of iPads.
That is a shit.
It's insane.
That is a lot of Legos on the floor. We would have to do it. We would have to do it at literally an FBI sweep of the floor before Papa came in.
Oh, absolutely. He steps on
You ever
one.
stepped on a Lego in the middle of the night? Woo,
Some days we could whip the kid's ass too, and nobody asked questions. So
people find a way to do it, and not only that, man. I've got friends who have 4 and 5 kids, and you would think they would be struggling because, man, it's 4 and 5 kids, and they're not millionaires or anything, middle class folks, right? And it's like, yeah, we're going to like, we're going to like Barbados this summer, all inclusive, like with the kids, Turks and Caicos next year. I'm like, how the hell are people still doing everything they want to? Like, they're having kids and they're still generally able to like have a pretty decent and enjoyable life. But it goes against everything we're talking about right now. Like everything's more expensive, has been for a long time. Mm-hmm. There is the college debt issue. There's no doubt about it. I had a lot of that. I'm sure you guys did too.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It seems like people who care, who want the American dream or who want some version of it, they figure out a way to do it still.
That's true.
I don't know.
This segues perfectly into our second story because I think this is one of the ways we're figuring it out. Credit card balances jump in the second quarter and above $1 trillion for the first time in the United States.
First time. Yeah. Well, here's the beauty, man. Who's paying that too? Because there's the thing called bankruptcy that a lot of people take advantage of. But I don't know if you know this secret. I've never done this. Okay, there's a secret where you can just rack up like $60K in credit card debt, and then just get a lawyer and be like, "I'm going to declare bankruptcy," and then it gets wiped out. And I don't. In all fairness, my parents had to do this twice when I was a kid. I didn't come from money, and it wasn't because they were like spending ridiculously or anything like that. But the point is, you can do that. You can actually do that. And one of my friends, in fact, just did do that.
It's gonna fuck up your credit though, doesn't it?
Oh, it fucks up your credit.
Oh yeah, it messes your credit.
So you can get like 50, 60K in free stuff if you're willing to deal with shitty credit for like 5 years. That's kind of how it works.
That's the loophole in the credit card system.
Right. But then I found out right after you declare bankruptcy, you still get credit card offers in the mail like immediately, but they're for like 30-some%, high rate cards. They're like $1,000 limit cards, but they're still trying to get you right back in. As soon as you declare bankruptcy, this guy's getting these credit card offers, and he's like, "Man, this is crazy." Like, people still want to give me.
Yeah. Well,
and they, and he has a history of not paying his credit card bills. They're like, man, we got to get this guy on. Like, so it's.
We should have him on.
Back. He's back.
We should have him on as a financial advisor. He could have a big.
Back spending.
Yeah. Yep.
Here's why I don't take this too seriously. The United States deficit is $228 billion. So our government can't balance their own fucking books, and they're mad at us as individuals for following suit. Go fuck yourself.
Here's the thing, though. I will just say, right? Again, I'm just asking for a friend. Who do we owe? Who cares?
Yeah. Who do we owe?
Do you think the government's going to let Visa or American Express or MasterCard go out of business? No.
No, I think
no. Or whoever else, Discover. I don't know who all the card companies are, but
they only let like 1 or 2 big companies essentially go out of business, and somebody at those companies pissed them off or wasn't doing the right thing. And they let them go. Right during the recession, there was a big bank that failed. It was a Lehman Brothers.
Rodney knows this.
Right, and they're like, we don't let big banks fail, but somebody at Lehman Brothers pissed them off. They didn't do the right thing. Yeah. Something happened there where they were like, all right, you don't want to play ball. We're gonna let you go.
Where's Robin? Who cares? Okay, so this is the other thing.
Was that our pal Becky Jolly?
That was Becky Jolly.
She's taking a break from posting. Tune in.
Being in debt with credit, I just don't know why this is news, because we're wildly in debt with mortgages, we're wildly in debt with our cars, we're wildly in debt with education. So why not be in debt? Like, it's the American thing is us being hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt by the time we're 22, 23, 24. So yeah. I mean, what are we supposed to do? They have us by the balls. We need a house. We need an education, we need a car, so they're going to fuck us. It's like the vet. Veterinarian's a perfect thing, because every time I go to the vet, they're like, oh, we could fix your cat for $2,000, or we could kill him for $300, right? And of course, fuck it, all right, here's the $2,000. But it's the same shit.
I seriously, I'm glad you bring that up.
Thanks.
The vet, and the dentist.
Yeah.
The biggest scammers I've ever met. Not all of them. I'm just generally speaking, just always some way or another, they're just pulling money out of you. Like you go to the vet, they're like, you know what? We should do a full panel of blood work for this little bump.
Mm-hmm.
Then we should do this. We should do that. You know, if you want to do this, you can. You don't have to, but if you don't, you're a shitty animal owner, and I would definitely recommend doing that. That's going to be like $2,000. You're like, this is, and it's all unnecessary. It's almost always unnecessary. Like,
I had a male cat that kept getting crystals in his urine. It was blocking him up. So they go, after the second time, they go, listen, we got to give him a sex change operation because a vagina packed with crystals better than a penis. So, what are you fucking lunatics came up with sex change operations for cats? $6,000, by the way. I was like, you're going to have to kill this one. I got it.
No, it can't. It's still not, I don't think transitioning is acceptable for cats yet. It's still not.
What litter box would he use? Who knows? You can't
the cats do not understand it the same way. There'd be violence. It wouldn't be
mayhem.
Yeah. The world's a crazy place right now. Now we're running. Listen, with these news stories are going long, but we can. Here, listen. This is the third one for some reason. A Texas woman was mowing the grass when a snake and a hawk attacked her from the sky. Then she asked, "This is my favorite part. Jesus, please help me." We'll get to the story in a second. But this reminds me of this meme. Have you ever seen this? Why you're removing that tumor I put in there? I think if a snake falls from the sky, grabs your arm, and then a hawk the snake, that's Jesus. Yeah. Jesus did that. Why are you asking?
I agree. Where did
I have a question though? I think what happened was the hawk had captured the snake. The snake had broke loose and he fell on her, and then the hawk came down to retrieve his hot pocket.
This is my theory too, because she said she was mowing in an open field when a snake fell from the sky. So, and then a hawk gets involved. Obviously, the hawk was carrying the snake.
Yeah. I like the analysis, Roddy, because this is like one of those shows where they like disprove, like, you know, like ghosts or like something like that, or like, you know, like strange evidence. They're like, how would a snake come from the sky? Was it Jesus? You know, was it an otherworldly being? You know, and then the scientists are like, what we believe. Hawks will often grab their prey and fly with their prey, and sometimes they will drop their prey. You know, and I don't know. I think we dispelled the Jesus part of it.
I think so too. Jesus had very little to do with this, but I like the story goes. So she's mowing the lawn in triple-digit heat in Texas. So it's like 115 outside, right? And then a fucking snake lands on you. It bites her, by the way. And then the hawk comes down. He's trying to get the snake off, and she has talon wounds all over her arm. Like, what a fucking day.
Oh, what a day. If a hawk or like an eagle were like 6-7 feet tall, we'd all be fucked. Everybody, they would just come down and fly away with you.
Well, I said this yesterday. I said this a lot. Thank God dinosaurs are dead because of pterodactyls. Like picnics. Can you imagine you having a picnic and a fucking pterodactyl comes and takes your grandmother away?
Exactly.
Now it's just now it's just the
seagulls are annoying.
Yeah, seagulls steal your sandwich, but not your grandparents.
Now, if this woman clearly had any sense, she would have taken a Molotov cocktail,
right,
and thrown it on the grass in that heat, and they wouldn't need to worry about it anymore. No more grass.
Bada
bing, bada boom.
Right, man. If you're mowing, you're mowing your lawn without a Molotov cocktail in that heat. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with you.
I don't know what you're doing.
You got to be prepared. You got to be prepared.
Is this from Fox News?
This is from Fox News. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
What if pterodactyls though? What if you had a picnic, right? You had a big blanket, probably, because pterodactyls are huge. You want,
I know.
Want to include everything.
They are huge.
What if they just came down and they just want food, just like a seagull? Like they're not aggressive. They're all just like gathering around you. You're throwing like that'd be kind of cool.
Imagine if they're fucking animals too. Like you're having a family reunion and you lose half your cousins because a pack of pterodactyls wanted your potato salad. Like that's fucking wild. That could have happened.
I think that would work better than Ozempic. Every time you try to eat, right?
That's a great point. Why didn't she have a fucking Texas? You got to watch out for.
She should have had a grenade in her pants.
That's my.
I think that's snake.
That is true, man. You can protect your property in Texas.
Here's a question for the two of you. Here's a question I ponder often. Who do you think is crazier, Texas or Florida?
I thought about that this morning when I read this because this seems like a very Florida story, but Texas is coming on strong.
I mean, you could easily switch out Texas to Florida, and the heat flows 115. It could easily go.
It's fucking
I
wild.
think Texas is like its own country, kind of like it's its own culture. It's always been that way. They're like,
that's true.
There have been times where they talked about seceding from the country because they're so big. First of all, they have the resources, and they're just like, this is what we do in Texas, right? Like Florida hasn't always been that way. Florida's more recently become more, I guess I don't know how you want to put it. I'm not politically driven either way, so I don't get into that part of it, but Florida's probably become a little bit more conservative recently. Texas has always just been Texas. And so it's like, it's its thing, You know
what scares me? If Texas wants to secede and we want to keep them, we're going to have to war with them. And they have snakes being drugged by hawks. Like, I'm not ready for this. That's
no way.
We don't
untrained. Those are the untrained hawks, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll show up with one of the generals, and you'll see Lorenzo Lamas turn around with a hawk on his arm, and he'll be like, "You guys ready? Showtime!"
Right.
And then there's hawks in the trees.
Oh, that's gonna be a fun.
And like, you see what they're doing down on the border there. It's like, dude, they have how many people do they have at their disposal? And they're like National Guard and militia. It's like they have a giant fucking number of people available. It's insane. Just to your point, I don't know.
Texas is weird, but then they have Austin, which is like is a mecca of liberal ideology.
It's South by Southwest.
Austin, South by Southwest. Houston's pretty liberal too.
All right,
but yeah.
So we could attack them from the inside if we. Anyway, this is the fourth story. Florida district sends memo about enforcing state laws on transgender bathrooms and preferred pronouns. So essentially, what the legislation says is that you have to use the bathroom that corresponds with the genitalia you were born with. Okay, so just to clear it up, if you're born with a penis, you go in the men's bathroom. Of a gooba, you're gonna.
Who's the district? Is that an organization, a band? Who's Florida district? Who are these people?
I don't know, but DeSantis has to be involved somehow. He's very concerned about where you take.
He's running for the presidency, right? And he's worried about a district.
DeSantis,
I feel like the president has bigger issues.
I just don't understand. Here's the other thing that I was thinking about. You're in the bathroom. You're in a public bathroom. How many times a day and for how long? I gotta say, I avoid shitting in public like the goddamn plague. So that eliminates that. I'd rather shit my pants. If I'm pissing in public, I don't know how often that is. Once a week, maybe? Why is it such a fucking issue? You're in there for 30 seconds. Don't you think?
Yeah, well, apparently the district is a problem.
I just don't care.
Here's a question. Are they afraid that you'll go into the bathroom and you'll see something you're not supposed to see? Is that the concern?
I don't know what the concern.
I'm just trying to figure it out.
They seem to think that like men will hide out in girls' bathrooms and molest kids or something. But I got to tell you, in the list of things I'm concerned about as a parent, that doesn't exist. It's not on my list. I don't know why it's on anyone's list.
So you're saying a man would be in the girls' bathroom? I'm confused. What now?
Yeah, I think the thing is like some guy's going to go, I'm a girl, then he's going to hang out, wait for a girl to go to the bathroom and then fucking diddle.
I think that's what people like to claim is the issue there. Yeah, I mean, if there's a psycho who's going to do something like this, they don't have to become transsexual to do it, or
yeah.
I mean, if they want to, if they're going to,
have they ever been to a rest stop?
Right, exactly. So you guys know Norm Macdonald, the comedian. He died.
Oh, we discussed him. We talked about him yesterday.
He's a treasure.
It just reminds me that he did a Netflix show right before he died, and he did it from his house, no audience or anything like that. A special. It was pretty funny. But he talked about his dad, and he talked about how his dad didn't quite understand like the movement, and he was like, my dad, he was a great man. He fought in World War II. He fought the Nazis. He's like, our bathroom in our house was a transgender bathroom. Everyone could use it. He's like, there was no problem with it. He's like,
that's true.
He's like, but my dad didn't quite understand, like, the transitioning of people. And he's like, you mean to tell me something about having a cock has something to do with being a boy? He's like, I don't know. I don't understand that. I don't know. It was pretty funny. And, no audience. No audience to laugh at him. It's just great. I don't know.
But the point about Trent, like,
it reminds me of this show.
Yeah. no audience, but it's great. Yeah. Yes, my house. I don't want to brag, but each bathroom, I don't care who takes a shit in it. Very liberal of me.
We used to care, but it was only because one of the toilets hung. But now it's not a challenge anymore. So if we would say number 2, big or small. Big.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the other one.
That's smart.
It's heavy duty. Heavy duty. Is it heavy duty or light load?
Once again, though, it goes back to this idea that there's a school shooting every day in this country. No one does a fucking thing. But we need to figure out this bathroom problem. The bathrooms are a big deal. We got to get governments involved in where people are taking shits. No one cares about anything else. Interest rates too high. Can't afford college. Kids are getting shot. Not an issue. Where someone takes a shit it's just got to be solved. I hate this.
Everybody's got their select things they care about. They really care about. Some people really care about this, right? I don't get it. I don't get it. Some people really care about guns. I don't care about guns either. It's like I don't know. I think you need assault weapons? Not really. No. But
I don't care about guns until there's a school shooting every day, and then something has to happen. You know what I mean? Like we can only go, I don't care about guns for so long. Like we're murder. Like I thought Sandy Hook was going to be, because it wasn't inner city. It's like the things we pretend to care about in this country. Little white children in an upper middle class town got killed a week before Christmas, and we still go, not really an issue. Not right now. Did you hear that someone's taking a piss in a bathroom he shouldn't be in? Oh man, get the same.
The crazy thing about Sandy Hook, though, right? And I agree with you, is I think the whole thing with Sandy Hook got more press, or the whole thing with Sandy Hook and Alex Jones got more press than what actually happened. And you know what I mean? Like with him harassing the parents and like.
Oh, he faced more time than any gun manufacturer or anybody in the history. Like, because it's just fucked up.
What I'm saying is they spent more time in court with him than they did on any regulation to fix the problem.
Yeah,
I mean, he's a problem, but they'll get him sorted. Fix the real problem, which are the shootings.
Yeah, right.
You would think that would be
Rodney. To your point earlier, though, with guns, it's like I don't know what people are even worried about. Like the people are big gun guys. Have 50 guns and they have every kind. Semi-automatics, AKs, whatever. It's like if they decide to ban guns one day, which that's definitely not going to happen, right? But just outright ban guns. First of all, so just know they're never going to ban guns. But if they do, who's coming to take them, right? It's like who's collecting on the American debt? Who's coming to take your AKs from you, right?
Yeah.
Who's the guy going to Texas to take everyone's semi-automatic rifles? I don't know.
Could you imagine? He's like, I'm here to just wanted to check in real quick, and all right, I'm going to take off. That's what we thought, son. Get out of here, right? Imagine. Here's the thing, right? Imagine they show up there like, we're here to get your guns. Oddly enough, we were just cleaning them. Give us a minute.
Well,
you
hear like shotguns in the background. He's like, all right, thank you, folks. Appreciate you.
You have a good day now.
Y'all take care now. Safe home.
Stay safe. All right. Story number 5 is a little less controversial, although I think it's vaguely entertaining. So Megan Fox, remember her? She used to be famous. She says her body aches from the weight of men's sins while announcing her poetry book. This is the quote. I've spent my entire life keeping the secrets of men. My body aches from carrying the weight of their sins. So I don't want to listen. I'm not a woman. I don't understand their experience, but it's pretty funny that Megan Fox is writing a poetry book about these guys.
Yeah.
Now, who are these 3 ladies?
Well, the guy on the left, I don't remember. He was the dork from 90210 somehow.
Yeah, he was the nerd that dated Tori Spelling. Which, by the way, Tori Spelling lives in a RV park now.
Is she poor?
She is.
She lost all her money?
Wait, hold on. Isn't her dad's like a billionaire?
Yeah, he created all these shows, but I was reading the other day that she's living in an RV park.
Oh God.
Really?
In an RV. Well, I'm not there's anything wrong with that, but it's just
I don't feel bad for her because her dad will she could go to her dad at any point and be like, hey, I don't want to be in this RV park.
Can you make me another show? Yeah.
So can you make me another show?
So
Papa show.
But then she starts dating the guy on the right, who I understand is Machine Gun Kelly. I will say I can't run to my head. I couldn't name a Machine Gun Kelly song, but he was in that Motley Crue Netflix movie. He played Tommy Lee, and he was fucking amazing.
Yeah, did he really? He played Tommy. Was that him?
That was him.
Wow. Yeah. Here's a question for you: who wore it best? Are these guys in a gang? What's going on here?
Dude, machine gun. I'd say machine gun work best. More casual. Open up.
So he's
top.
got wallpaper writings on there.
He doesn't have that
Does say-
undershirt on.
Yeah, see the undershirt without the buttons, I don't think goes with this. I do like a little class.
Nah.
Yeah.
But you
He's
see
got
how
the
I think I
confidence.
said
Machine gun's got the confidence.
on Machine Gun shirt it says "Live, Laugh, Love." I like it.
Oh yeah. That's great.
Are you guys gonna buy? Speaking of literature, are you gonna buy Megan Fox's book of poetry?
I got to be honest with you, I don't even know what
Yeah.
Megan Fox has been in. What movies is she in? Transformers. I know with the weirdo that was trying to kill his girlfriend, right?
Yeah. So I know how
Shia LaBeouf.
sometimes we talk about how hot certain chicks are at certain times, and I think Cameron Diaz in The Mask and the chick from Dusk Till Dawn, who's Salma Hayek, that stripping
Hayek,
scene.
sure.
Megan Fox in Transformers is
Oh god,
my
yeah.
god, right? Holy shit!
I remember seeing that movie and that I'm watching. I'm like, who? I'm like,
I
dude,
know.
who is this? This is something special.
Oh, she was an 11.
And then she kind of just disappeared, right? I mean, I don't. What else is she in? I don't know.
I think
But
she
she's
got
still hot.
fired. Oh,
Still
she
hot.
smoking. But she got fired from Transformers because I think who's the guy that did Transformers? The guy that blows shit up all the time.
Shia LaBeouf.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No, the director. Every movie blows. Michael Bay.
Michael Bay. Yeah.
Michael Bay fired her because she was hard to get along with. So she's never really. I don't know what she's done since. She
Yeah.
wrote a book.
So the sins of men. So if you take it literally, she's what was it? She was crushed. She was
Her body is crushed.
Her body
her
is
body is crushed by the
Eating
sins.
away.
So she's talking about, in fact, just intercourse, just men
Yeah.
being on top of her. I maybe I don't know. I'm trying
you
to
think
take
these
it
two men
literally.
have had intercourse with her? That seems unlikely.
They supposedly.
Yeah.
I mean they, but it doesn't. You're right. It doesn't appear likely. I mean,
I feel like
Especially-
these two would want to have intercourse with each other, not her.
and that's
okay.
definitely not the guy.
man. Just-
Yeah, the guy with the t-shirt underneath, definitely not. I mean, that's
Like,
like the
no
guy on
one-
the far right, he has like a Karen haircut, but then he like blew it forward to go flock of seagulls.
That's right.
So it's, I don't know.
Yeah. Was there no one in the NBA that was available? You had to go with these two fucking dorks.
You know what I was thinking about though, right? This is where I think it went wrong. Was Pete Davidson not? Was he? Is he? What's going on? Because I feel like he's available now.
That's a great question.
And hold on, did you hear about this? Ariana Grande, which is not a meal at Taco Bell. I always say that. Is now dating some guy that's in a show with her
I did see that.
that was married, and he looks like her brother or something. So weird.
Yeah. Speaking of weird, we're gonna try another segment where we watch shit from Instagram. And I gotta tell you, Rodney, I fucking hate you for making me watch this first one.
Isn't this a good one? This is a good one. You're gonna love this, Paul.
I'm not sure.
I suffer so America wins.
If you can sit through this without cringing, God bless you. All right, hold on.
Here we go.
Here we go. Oh Lord, can everybody see this?
Yes.
I'm a hybrid between vampire and werewolf. I'm a hybrid. My dad's a vampire. My blood dad's a vampire. My blood mom's a werewolf. Meaning I wound up with both their powers. So when I first got on with you, my skin started to itch.
Oh my God.
That's the one thing about us magical creatures. When we actually interact with others of our kind, we get itchy.
My shoulder was just getting itchy when I first met you. I was itching right here.
Yeah. I usually get itchy around my neck.
Jesus.
Talk about your ideal date. If you had to take me on a date, what would you do to me? I mean, with me.
You're funny. You're funny.
All right.
And cute. So I'd probably take you somewhere nice. Probably take you up to Golden Corral from my place. And if you've noticed how when I'm literally turned on, you can tell just by my eyes, because my eyes start glowing a little. I'm a
Jesus Christ.
hybrid between vampire and werewolf. I'm a hybrid. My dad's a
Why?
Why?
Why
What?
did
Now here's the thing that nobody knows. I just want to share this with you where that video came from. That's the new Twilight.
It's-
Why is
Leaked footage. Robert
Why
Pattinson
is
was
it the
available.
Are they kids? Or I don't know. Are they adults? What are they?
Paul,
I
that's
mean,
the first thing I said. Are these grown people or are these children?
I don't know.
right.
I
I don't know. But that guy, why does that kind of guy always sound like that? Always
I know.
pasty as fuck. Always, it just has this look that just fits. I mean, why?
Oh, it's
Can't
cute.
you just go get a tan Put some decent looking clothes on and work out a little bit. You'll be completely different. You won't be a werewolf or vampire, guarantee you. You will change. Your whole mind will change. You know, I mean,
I get itchy.
I don't know about being a vampire or a werewolf, but I can tell you eating right, working out, and taking care of yourself gives you magical powers way beyond anything I know a werewolf.
Way beyond. Take a look in the mirror, man. The blood is not doing it for you. Eating the blood, it's not doing it for you. You got to do something different.
You're eating the wrong protein, brother.
The blood's high. It's got to be high in calories. Clearly, it's very high in calories. Blood. So
you know listen, this is how fucking cooked these kids are. Like in our generation, if you caught something like this on camera and you put it on social media, you'd be an asshole. You'd be. They filmed this themselves and then offered it to the world. Like
That's right.
Offered it. Right. Like, it wasn't accidental. It wasn't just like, you know.
It wasn't leaked.
It wasn't leaked.
It wasn't leaked. No, it wasn't leaked.
All right.
This guy's openly a vampire. Give himself away.
Yeah. And the one on the list, I'm not sure which bathroom they're supposed to use. That was confusing.
I got to be honest. I can tell you that it's indoors. Those two have never been outside, ever.
No, never. No, the vampire definitely. You can tell he's not been outdoors.
Vampire. All right, this one though, I love you for doing because this is America's. This isn't even America's. It's the world's finest sport. So hold on one second.
Yes, this one's good. I've got to start training for this if pickleball doesn't work out.
And it may not. Are you ready? This is well, you'll get it. Major League Keepy Uppy.
This is the World Cup. La alemana la desesperó que puede ser campeona del mundo. Esto es tremendo. Con Francesco de la Cruz, el héroe nacional. Te digo que a este tío en Perú le van a hacer. Perú por cada mañana. En español ya le han hecho entrevistas.
Holy Schnikes.
Pegó el cristal.
Oh man.
Oh fuck.
Rafa bien, Francesco de la Cruz. ¡Le ha salvado! ¡Punto! ¡No! ¡No me lo creo! ¡No puede ser! ¿Qué es esto? ¡Creo que los estantes! ¡Ha llegado!
Oh, got it.
¡Que no se acabe! ¡Que no se acabe! ¡Está aturdido! ¡En el último momento! ¡Está aturdido! ¡Está aturdido Francesco de la Cruz!
Oh!
This is the
Wow.
Man, oh man. Now,
You
here's the thing
gotta appreciate it.
Here's what I don't understand. What's with the furniture and decor?
You've got to make it difficult.
You have
but
to
I just,
understand,
like,
guys.
furniture?
This is a regulation balloon World Cup field. It's actually a court. I'm sorry, it's indoors.
It's cool.
A regulation court, and you'll see this everywhere at every level of ballooning. This is of course the World Cup, but this trickles right down to the Pop Warner and everything else. This is what they play on. You know, it's nice that this is finally becoming more mainstream. I'm not the only person, you know, who knows about this.
Yeah.
And that balloon is filled. That's a regulation balloon too. It's filled with mostly air, but a little bit of helium. You saw it at a little bit of lift, a little bit more lift.
That's
than just
regulation.
if you were to blow into it.
Yeah.
The right pressure. You know.
Balloon Samurai train.
Yeah, what's that show they have on TV, right? And it's American Ninja Warrior. This is American Balloon Warrior.
Yeah.
Or Ninja Balloon Warrior.
I'm just glad these guys are finally getting their, getting their time in the spotlight.
Every court needs a 2008 Kia Soul, or it's not regulation.
That's.
Though those
that was like was that like a car dealership? Like it was like a room in a car dealership or something. I don't know what it was.
I don't know, but those announcers are the greatest. Like, why doesn't baseball have that level of intensity?
Yeah,
I'm not sure what they're saying, but I was nervous.
If you're in Central America and you're an announcer, you have to be on cocaine while you're announcing because they're just so excited the entire time. I mean, no one's ever that excited in the U.S. unless it's the end of the game, walk off. It was something like no one's ever that excited. These guys, one goal. Is that a goal? Was that a goal? I think it was a goal.
That was that was a goal. Well, here's the thing, right?
One,
it's almost like they announce every game, right, and every play, as if it was the Aaron Boone walk-off home run. Just thinking of a crazy time.
Go fuck yourself.
The amount of energy expended. The amount of energy expended just calling a game, any game, even a balloon game. Yeah. That vampire guy should start doing that. Calling games from his, if he doesn't want to leave his house, just start calling games from your house. Get into something like sports, even if it's balloons. And
what?
you're going to burn some calories. I mean, I don't know.
I think the reason the United States
I
sucks
agree
at
with you.
soccer is that our greatest athletes don't play soccer. Like if LeBron James played soccer and Tyreek Hill played soccer, we destroy the rest of the world. But our athletes play other sports besides soccer. But if we got our greatest athletes into this sport, it could dominate the planet. I think you watch.
Well,
I've had that argument before too. I said one time,
too.
one of my friends who is from Colombia, I said, "What is the name of your football team? The
Mm,
baseball team?
yeah,
Tell me again."
right.
They didn't know.
No. I said,
Well, you guys have people who are like, "Oh, my son's actually one of the top water polo players in the state." You're like, "Yeah, because none of the good athletes play water polo."
Yeah, there's
If
three.
they did,
Yeah. I'm going to tell my
if the good athletes play water polo, your son would suck at water polo. He'd be
absolutely.
terrible.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Can you imagine if
I mean,
Tyreek Hill played soccer? I mean, he'd score 50 goals a game. He's faster and bigger than everybody else.
I was watching
Yeah.
that special on Johnny Football. Y'all know him, Money Manziel,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
and I was listening to a game and watching it, and he scored like 70 touchdowns. I mean, not 70 touchdowns. Yeah, like 70 touchdowns in like 2 or 3 games.
It's because he doesn't
What in
suck
the
at
world?
football. He sucks at NFL football. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, then they said too when he got to
Yeah.
the NFL, they're like, "How many hours of film did you watch?" And he's like, 0. And I'm thinking, like, I played football in high school, and I remember there were hours watching film, and I'm not gonna. This is gonna be disappointing, you guys. I don't play in the NFL, guys. And I know. Who knew? And
Yeah.
I remember watching a lot of film, and the people we played with sucked compared to the people he's playing with. If you can imagine it, even the best people that we played against are not even as good as he is.
It's hard to wrap your head around.
But even if you're great at football, you got to be tough. You got to
Yeah.
be tough. If you're not tough, man, you're not gonna be able to play football. It's
Well,
why
he
these
said in
guys
the
wash
special.
out. You know,
He said that in the special. He said it's so tough. He goes, "I only played football so I could party after."
right?
Can you-
Right. So did
I didn't
Gronkowski.
even-
Hey man, so
No,
did
I didn't
Gronk.
even
I
wanna
mean,
tell
yeah,
him,
he had a
Paul.
great career.
I did not want to tell Johnny Football that you can go to college and party like that, and you don't even have to play football.
You don't have to play
That was the
football.
craziest thing. I said, why didn't anyone speak to Johnny about this?
Yeah.
That took a lot. It took a lot, Roddy. I seriously, I applaud you for that because a lesser man would have.
Yeah.
He's been through a lot. That guy's already been through enough.
Money Manziel.
Money Manziel, yeah.
Yes.
And it's not over yet.
Can you imagine getting hit by an untrained 350-pound guy? That would hurt a lot. Then imagine getting hit by a fucking jacked out of his mind trained killer who knows
Yeah.
how to hit you for a career.
Right.
I mean, how do they survive?
Oh, how do they? Here's the thing people don't talk about in football, and that this is the truth. I played football too when I was younger. When people hit people in football, they are trying to hurt you as much as they can. Not because they want to hurt you, not because they want to injure you, just because that's how you win. That's how you do things. That's how you get praise.
Right.
You want to hit someone, you want to hear that pop. You want everyone to be like, dude, that was a hit.
It's
man.
part of the game.
Because football is a tough game. They're gladiators, modern day gladiators. That's what these guys are.
They used to line us up when I was playing football on opposite sides, right? Like say 50-yard line, and and we just run towards each other as fast as we could and hit each other.
Yeah, like a kickoff drill.
Yeah, right.
And I hit this kid one time and knocked his helmet right off his head.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, right. Which is
I'm
probably
not right, I'm
awesome.
just saying,
That was
like,
probably awesome, and you got praise for that because that
Yeah, they were
force
like,
of that hit.
this kid's
helmet
got a
pops
stud.
up. Yeah, man. And the fans love it too, right?
They
But
love
then
it.
I think if I had to say, I bet you in about 250, 300 years, there won't be American football anymore.
No.
Because it just I don't think there will be.
It'll be balloon
It's just
ball.
so violent. People every year, the game gets a little bit less violent, which I understand. And there's still this bloodlust from like Roman times where it's like you can't kill people, but there's just this violence where there are bones broken and tendons torn, and I don't know. I just feel
We
like it'll
need it.
slowly be kind of. It's
We
my
need
favorite. It is my favorite of
Oh, me
all the
too.
sports. Just putting it out there, but
I gotta
I
say,
just-
the NFL should probably start investing in keepy uppy. You know what I mean? Make that like a smooth transition to.
You know what I was going to say though?
I
just wanna
agree, man.
highlight one point that I'm a little confused on is I love football, but I recently had gotten into rugby,
Oh
and those guys are on a different level. Well, I guess my question is that they don't even wear helmets,
no.
No.
and there's not all this stopping and starting. Like if you think about it, a football game is really, I mean, I'm joking, but a football game is really like 15 minutes. The rest of it's commercials and
Mhm.
commentary and BS.
I feel like in a lot of ways it is already a lot of concert fireworks and cheerleading, especially the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl halftime show can go fuck itself. I hate that you're trying to get people that don't watch football to watch football. Just
I know.
bothers me.
Oh my god! And even if you like the act, which is like a 1 in 20 chance you're gonna like the act,
Exactly.
And it's like they play like 30 seconds of a song, then like 30 seconds of another song you don't know.
It's some
Then
weird.
like there's someone new comes out.
I don't understand it.
I mean,
This year it's Nickelback, right?
I hope so.
Nickelback
Remember
it is.
this
Baby.
photograph.
Oh, speaking of books, if you guys are going to start reading books, the Psychopath Test is an excellent book. You can tell whether or
It's
not
a book or is it a test?
Well, it's a book about the test, and it turns out that most Fortune 500 CEOs, I don't know, most, I think like 35% are certifiable psychopaths, which, goes into a thing. I think you got to kind of be a narcissist to make it in this country a little bit. Like to
Is
do
there
it.
a difference in a narcissist and a psychopath, you think?
They
or you think it's just, yeah.
I think most psychopaths are narcissists, but most narcissists aren't psychopaths.
Are not so, yeah, that makes sense. Because as a psychopath, you probably don't care if you hurt people, right? I think
no.
that's
So in the
probably-
test,
Right.
we go. If you're taking this test and you're concerned you might be a psychopath, you're not a psychopath because a psychopath wouldn't be concerned that they're a psychopath.
Right there, you go. That makes sense.
That's exactly right. I
Least-
told my mom. She said, "I think I have Alzheimer's." I said, "People that have Alzheimer's don't even know what it is."
No, and they
Sure,
wouldn't,
when you
and
think
they
about
wouldn't want to take a test to see either. Probably,
Yeah,
right? Like if
exactly.
I thought I had Alzheimer's, I'd be like, you know what, I'm gonna pass on that.
Correct me if
I
I'm
wanna
wrong. The
keep
psychopath
driving.
test is about a funeral. Is that right?
About a funeral?
Yeah, Brad.
Yeah,
This is the
Brad's
question
gonna be
about
on.
a funeral, right?
Brad's coming on next week. No.
It's not because let me just say what I thought it was. I don't know if this is it, but somebody said years ago the psychopath test is that you meet a girl at a funeral
Oh.
and you can't get her. Is it? Am I on to it, Eric, or is that not right?
I don't know. It's been a while, but this guy John Ronson is fun. I'm sorry, I said Malcolm Gladwell's the
cool.
only one that can write. John Ronson can fucking write.
I like it. I'll have to
no.
check it out. But basically, it's a question. It's like you meet this girl at a funeral, a guy, it could be either one.
Oh, that's
And you don't get their name or number, and they're like, you can't figure out how to get her name or number. Somehow or other, you can't get the number, right? What do you do?
yeah.
Right?
That
And then depending upon the way you answer, like most people, right, would be like, oh, I'd ask so and so or this or that. If you're a true psychopath, you'd say, well, I would kill somebody, so there's another funeral.
right. Yeah.
Right.
I do think that's in here somewhere.
I'm not saying that's what it's about, but I had heard the psychopath there, and I was thinking like, I don't think a psychopath would be like, I would kill someone. They would know not to say that.
Right. Yeah,
Right?
They appear to be pretty smart people generally. Like the serial killer psychopaths generally appear to be
Right.
pretty smart people.
You know where the downfall is, though, Paul? I've learned it. Let me tell you where the downfall is here. I've just put it all together. When you look at BTK, he was sending discs to the police department, who obviously knew how to use the computer with metadata in it. The Long Island serial killer, which is where I'm at, he is, well, now they don't know if he did it or not because they need another DNA test. And he said, I'm not giving you a DNA test. But they said that he was making phone calls to the victims with their cell phones or to the victims' families with their cell phones. I think the underlying message here is cut communication. If you're going to kill and chop up people, don't say anything about it. Go on about your business.
Go on. Don't tell anyone, right? Don't
say
tell
nothing.
anyone. Not anyone. Yeah. And don't use a burner phone. What are they when they find a burner phone and they look at the numbers that you called on the burner phone? They're going to figure out there's a connection between certain people, and then they're going to it's not like you're using the burner phone to order pizza and to do everything else you would
like I'm on a diet, no one can know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you throw in the trash can. You're like, give me I need an extra large of pepperoni and family order breadsticks.
I'm out.
No one's doing that. If you were doing that, if you're going to use burners, use them for everything. Yeah, that maybe.
Well, then it's not your burner phone. That's your main phone. Yeah. Well, here's the thing: getting caught with a burner phone is a crime in and of itself because you're doing some dirty shit. To your point, you're not ordering food. Like you're having.
Hold on a second. I always say if someone has a burner phone, there's two possible scenarios: they're either a world-class drug dealer, or their credit's terrible. There's two options.
Right, man. I think my friend might be getting a burner soon. I'm not positive. We're going to Boost Mobile.
Bankruptcy, they should give you a burner phone. These guys, you're gonna need this.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I watched that show 60 Days In, and half the guys in jail have burner phones. No, really, they do. They're like, hold on a second, I got to take a call, and I'm like,
of course. If you go to prison, you got to shove a phone up your ass. That's rule number one.
A razor phone.
Yeah, so
those little flip phones.
Yeah, so it fits. Listen, Paul, we have 30 seconds left. Do you want to plug anything? We didn't talk about business at all today. So do you want to?
Oh, no, man. I'm just happy to be on here. It's great to talk with you guys. But no, man, no, I'm not here for the plug. No, it was good.
But Knowledge Hub Media, do you want to talk about it at all?
Yeah, I'm with Knowledge Hub Media. We are B2B demand generation company. We've been doing it for 14 years since 2009. And man, if you're in B2B lead gen, definitely give us a shout out. I think we're pretty badass, and you'll be happy with the results. We have got a lot to show you.
All right. Well, listen, we will
good to
be
me,
back
brother.
tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in, America. Goodbye.
Thanks so much, guys.
Bye.